Hello, hello, welcome back. We are about to begin my second segment of the day. This is 12:30 in the afternoon Pacific time on Monday, June 26th. At 12 o'clock, I did a live and we talked about the basics of rubber stamps themselves. And here at our 12:30 segment, we are going to be talking about papers. In the 5 segments today, I'm touching on all of the basics. So this is a great little crash course if you are new to stamping, new to crafting in general. And if you've already been crafting or stamping for a long time, you still might learn a thing or two. So I welcome you all. I am going to check my levels real quick, just of my video, and make sure that we are live. I'm going to check my monitor. If you do not see the little live button on the screen, then perhaps you are not seeing the current live stream. So let me just see here. All right, we are in good shape. So welcome back. If you were here at 12 o'clock, thanks for taking a little break and coming back. I mentioned these things and I'll mention them briefly each time in case I have new viewers on each live. I do have an online store that you can shop at 24/7. This is the website address for that. And if you are inspired by any of the videos today or anytime in the future, I welcome you to visit my store. And when you get to the checkout, there is a place to type in a host code. This is the current code and it is good through June 30th, but I always will post a new current code on my website. So at stampwithjuliebaum.com, you'll always find a current code. So in case you're watching a replay of this live and June 30th has come and gone, you can always go to my website and find a current code. Now I want to invite you on Thursday evening. We are having a fun mystery stamping class. We are doing it via Zoom. So even if you are not local, this is a class that you can take by using the Zoom link that I provide, and on screen, those who are participating will all be creating a mystery card together. I'm going to lead you step by step. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, I know that I have some guests from out of state that are going to be participating, as well as some local people. So if you want more information about mystery stamping, do contact me so that I can send you the link. All right, as promised, let's talk about the basics of papers when it comes to stamping and paper crafting. So the first thing is the paper that we use the most of the time, and that is our basic white cardstock. So I have a piece here. This happens to be an 8.5 by 11 inch piece, which is the size that I buy, stock, and use all of the time. Now, this can clearly be cut down to different sizes if you need it to be, but this is a very handy size to purchase and to have on hand. Now, I want to mention that our regular cardstock also comes in vanilla. So if you are a cream or an off-white person and prefer vanilla as your base paper, then that is available as well. Now, both the white and the vanilla come in the 8.5 by 11, and they also are available in 12 by 12. So sometimes for certain cards, certain projects, you need to start with a larger piece of cardstock, and so the 12 by 12 can come in handy. And also, if you happen to be a crafter and a scrapbooker, you might be wanting those 12 by 12s as well. Now, besides our regular weight basic white and vanilla, we also have a thick cardstock. So this is thick basic white. It'll be impossible to tell from the screen just from looking, but once you hold the cardstock in your hand, you can tell that the regular weight is a lighter weight than our thick cardstock. The vanilla also comes in thick. Now, why the difference? For the most part, I use these all of the time. I will usually reach for the thick cardstock if this is going to be the base of my card. So if I am creating a card and it's not going to be based on a piece of colored cardstock, but this is actually the base, then I'll use thick. It just holds up a little bit better and it's a little bit stiffer in case somebody is going to set the card up like on display. So there is your basic white, your vanilla, and your thick. Now we have colored cardstock. I just grabbed a piece of Coastal Cabana to show you. I think it's a lovely color and it shows up nicely on the screen. So this is an 8.5 by 11. Now, many of our colored cardstock sheets also come in 12 by 12. The thing about it is you are not able to order individual color packs of 12 by 12. So in other words, you're not able to get Coastal Cabana 12 by 12 just in a pack by itself. It comes in a combo pack. So it would be part of like the Brights collection, and then you would get 2 of each of the Brights colors in the 12 by 12. All right, now let me just give you an idea of that rainbow of colors. These are the cardstocks, and I will mention that I made this little tool prior to the new catalog that just came out in May. So there actually are a few colors in here, just a few, that have been taken out and replaced with some new ones. So, but this gives you an idea, the huge variety of colored cardstock. I also want to mention that our colored cardstock quality is absolutely excellent. I have had lots of customers and students in class talk about using both plain white cardstock as well as colored cardstock on their projects that they bought from maybe a local craft store, and the quality of the cardstock itself just doesn't compare. And so I am quite proud of the colors and the quality of our cardstock. All right, besides cardstock, we also have some beautiful patterned paper. These in the Stampin' Up! World are called designer series paper, and all the time we abbreviate with the letters DSP. And that way it keeps us from having to say designer series paper so many times. This is an example of a 6x6 pack of DSP. And this happens to be a packet that's called Inked Botanicals. You can see that there are lovely prints on the front of these papers. Quite a variety. And then when we get further into this pack, this one is like a really large pack of papers. There is also a print on the other side. So typically it will be, not always, but typically it will be kind of a bolder print on one side, bolder or larger, and then a more subtle or a smaller, daintier print on the other side. Like I said, that's not a rule, but it typically turns out that way. Let's look at another, perhaps this one, the big bold flowers, and then the other side is a little bit more subtle. All right, so 6x6 DSP, and then there are other designer series paper packs that come in a 12x12 size. So this is an example of that. This one is Countryside Inn, and in the same way, there are prints on the front. This is a actually delightful set of papers, all in blues. And then on the back is your subtle or smaller little design print. All right, so designer series paper, which is used as accents on cards. It's used as card bases. It can be used as a card front with other things. You can stamp on designer series paper. So there are a lot of uses for the designer series paper. All right, let me put that away. All right, let's talk about some of the other papers that are available. And there is a variety. All right, so I've got just a sampling of papers here. Let's talk about vellum paper. Vellum paper is a lightweight paper that is, it's kind of see-through, all right? And it is used very effectively as a layer. You can stamp on vellum paper, but quite often you'll see this as a die cut tucked behind something else. So this is just a scrap of it, but we do have the vellum paper in the catalog. We also have glimmer papers. Now the colors of glimmer papers that are available vary. So these are probably not current ones. I pulled this out of my paper file, and these may have been past colors. But let me tell you what I love about glimmer paper, and that is that you get this wonderful sparkly glitter look without any glitter coming off. I don't know, I haven't researched how they do it, if it's baked in or what they do to it, but you can have a lovely glittery glimmer effect used on your card or your project, and you don't have to worry about glitter coming off like it would if you used glue and glitter. So these are glimmer papers, and the colors do vary by catalog. All right, then another kind of paper is a window sheet. And this is going to be hard to see because it's completely clear. So this is like an acetate or a window sheet. And this is used quite effectively on certain types of projects. It can obviously become like a window in your card or your 3D project, your treat holder or a box. And it can also be used in other kind of fancy cards to help hide elements because it kind of disappears. So we're not talking about technique, but I wanted to let you know that the window sheets are available in the catalog. That's another kind of paper. Then we also have a paper that is considered, I've got two different ones here. Let me see here. A sticker sheet or an adhesive sheet. Now, a little disclaimer. Years ago, our sticker sheets were actually made by a different company, and that's the one that I pulled. Stampin' Up! Has their own sticky sheets or adhesive sheets now, and they work the exact same way. So what you do with this kind of a paper is there's actually a backing, and so you peel it off. You attach the whole piece, either a small piece that you've cut, or it could even be a large piece. This looks like it's a 6 by 12. So this could be peeled, attached to this entire piece of designer series paper. And now any die cut that I do out of this is actually a sticker. So then at that time, there would be another layer of backing that you can peel off and apply to your project. So again, we're not talking about techniques or how to use it, but there are adhesive sheets that are available in the catalog. All right, another kind of paper is a masking paper. This is just a teeny little sliver of masking paper. And at a later segment today, during the 2 o'clock segment, I will be teaching how to do basic masking technique. And I will show you at that time 2 different ways to do masking. One with just a Post-it note, and the second is with masking paper. But masking paper is super handy to have and is available in the catalog. And then another kind of paper that I don't talk about very often, but it is a very nice paper to have on hand, is our fluid or watercolor paper. So this is probably a little hard to see. It kind of looks like it has a little bit of a texture to it because it is a watercolor paper. And for certain techniques where you're going to be using a very wet ink, or maybe your water painter or your blending pens or something like that, and it's going to be a very wet application, then the watercolor paper can be your very best friend because it helps absorb that paper instead of just letting it run off like it might from the plain cardstock. So our fluid or watercolor paper is another paper that is available. Now, I'm just going to make mention that on page 127 of the current catalog, this is the annual catalog 2023 to 2024, there are a number of other specialty papers. There is rose gold paper. There are textured shimmer papers, which we kind of talked about. There's dazzle paper, which is kind of like glimmer paper on steroids. There is some colored core paper, holographic. There are so many papers here that we won't even go into, but I wanted to bring them to your attention that besides the ones that we talked about today, there is a number of other specialty papers. Now, in case you're curious, since we're right here, and I did not mention, envelopes are also available. And that way, when you've created your cards and need to tuck them inside the proper size envelopes, we offer both white and vanilla envelopes. We also have craft envelopes. Here they are on page 135. And also some little 3x3s, which are really fun, 3x3 envelopes. So then you can do little tiny gift enclosures that go with a package or a gift bag. So there are a number of envelope papers or envelope options as well that you should know about since we're talking about paper. So those are the basics of our paper segment. I am going to sign off and I will be live again at 1 o'clock and we are going to talk about the basics of inks. So I will see you then.